Say that it feels right.
Hey guys, welcome back for another Clash Royale video. So in today's video, we will be taking a look at some top ladder Xbow cycle gameplay shared by Elite Sparky, and he recently hit 25th in the world with both two decks, one with Ice Spirit and the other one with E Spirit. It's basically the same deck, just one card difference. And he's using Rock instead of Fireball, which you don't normally see in 3.0 Xbow cycle decks because they use Fireball. So it's technically 3.3 Xbow cycle because you have the Rocket. And it's just so much better when you have to spell cycle at the end of the matches. So yeah, I'm not gonna dwell too long on this deck because I think everyone knows the deck already. It's Xbow. So yeah, don't forget to follow Elite Sparky on Twitter. Link will be in the description. And if you guys don't want to miss out any top ladder videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It supports me and motivates me to make more video. And yeah, let's just jump right into our first replay. Okay, so in our first game against Famouskid, I want to tell you guys that I actually recorded this video, like all 6 replays, yesterday, and I found out that I was trying something, and I turned on the game volume, the in-game volume, and I turned on a bit too high, so I had to discard the video because it's the in-game volume is just too high, and I anything that I said just can't really be heard. So I have to reshoot the whole video, and here we are. So we're up against Famouskid, who's using his mini account, and he recently hit top 8 in CRL, so he will be in the monthly finals maybe tomorrow or maybe the day after next, not too sure. So huge congrats to him. And he's using Egiant, his usual go-to deck, which Xbow does have a slight edge, not a slight edge, a big advantage over Egiant because you can just cycle Tesla and Archers. Egiant players can't really do much about that. It's going to play Xbow Obsolete to apply some pressure. Famouskid is going to respond to it with Egiant, and get the Archers as well as the Tesla with DPS down the Egiant very nicely. Block comes down for the bomber, and it's probably gonna play Knight something. Yes, he does. And Famouskid still has to respond to this Knight. He's gonna do so with a Mother Witch, which will spawn a peg and force a response from Elite Sparky. I'm just gonna call him Sparky, man. Calling him Elite Sparky is just a little bit too long for me. And normally this game would just get drawn to overtime because there's no way. I mean, if the Xbow player wants, he can just defend for the whole game, then spell cycle at the end. And Famouskid gave him a rocket value with the Inferno D. Obviously, he's gonna take that, and now he's gonna apply pressure after Famouskid played the Egiant at the back. So Lock comes down for the Dark Prince, and a Knight to tank for the Xbow. Okay, the Knight is actually targeting onto the pig, so that was a little bit unfortunate, and the Xbow actually targeted onto the Egiant instead of the tower, and now a Tesla comes down, pulling the Egiant away, and Ice Spirit to freeze it, just to buy some time for the tower to finish it off. But Famouskid is back to another Egiant, so if he wants, he can just pressure at the bridge, but he decides not to do that. Plays a cage just to be safe, and now he's gonna play a Tesla and an Xbow Obsidian once again. Ice Spirit just to predict something. Now it's probably gonna play Knight, and the Archers will DPS down the Mother Witch as well alongside the Xbow and the Brawler. Now Famouskid cycle back to another cage, but the Tesla will actually help a lot on defense. Ice Spirit will jump to the Egiant. Now the Archers will help to DPS it down. The Bomber will actually finish off the Xbow, but he's back to another Xbow already. Will he go in? Probably not. Yeah, he's gonna set up a Tesla. Now a Mother Witch comes down, spawning 2 pigs, forcing a response by Elite Sparky, and now an Egiant at the bridge, and Elite Sparky is cycling back to another Tesla. Nados NATO won't pull the archer into the range of the Egiant, so that was a fail NATO, you could say that. And the Inferno D will lock onto the Xbow, which is I think Elite Sparky didn't want to overspend on the Xbow, and since he got that much of a lead already, now he can just safely defend for another minute and just spell cycle at the end. So he plays a knight for the Dark Prince, just to tank, and now he's back to another Tesla. He's gonna play it. Famouskid plays another Dark Prince and a rocket comes down for the Inferno D, taking off the shield as well. A lock will be played onto the Dark Prince and targeting onto the Mother Witch. So yeah, like I said, it's just impossible for Egiant players to break through against a top Xbow player, so I'm just gonna speed it up. And yeah, a very nice game against Egiant, against Famouskid, which is one of the best Egiant players right now. Okay, so we took a look at a good matchup. Now we're gonna take a look at a bad matchup, which is against Giant Graveyard with arrows, and the opponent. There's nothing I can say, man. It's just very good for the opponent. They have the Giant for the Xbow and arrows for the Archer, and the opponent's gonna go in like right away with Graveyard because they have arrows ready for the Archers. That's why, and yeah, the Skeletons will get a lot of damage. 500, not too bad for the opponent. And Elite Sparky is not happy about it, despite the fact that he defended quite well there. But he knows that this deck could get very nasty in double elixir. Because like I said, the opponent has all the answers they need. And yeah, we'll see how Elite Sparky will deal with this matchup. So is he gonna go in with Xbow? I'm probably gonna set up a Tesla first. That's what Xbow players usually do, just to be safe. Code SNA. Now it's gonna Skeletons to distract the Inferno D a little bit. Probably play. Okay, he's gonna play an Xbow. I thought he was gonna play a Knight on the Dark Prince. Now I spread for the Dark Prince just to tank. Unfortunately though, the Tesla won't help out on the offense against the Giant. Now the opponent will respond to the Knight with a Witch. And Elite Sparky is probably gonna split Archers. The back, yes. Now the opponent will go in again with an aggressive Graveyard. Skeletons comes down, and he waited for the lock, but the lock actually kind of failed because there was like 1 or 2 Skeletons there. So yeah, the lock wasn't doing all that much, and now he's gonna go in with Xbow again. He's gonna cycle back to a lock, okay, but the opponent played a Giant. And the opponent has the 5 already, so yeah, like I said, the opponent has all the answers they need, and they are up like 1200, 300 damage. The opponent will go in again with an aggressive Graveyard. He's gonna Knight to tank for Dark Prince, allowing the tower to target on Skeletons. Now he's gonna go in with Xbow opposite him right away because he knows that the opponent doesn't have that much elixir. Lock onto the Dark Prince as well as the remaining Skeleton army. And yeah, just like that, the Xbow will lock onto the tower. Okay, for some reason he decided not to play a Tesla, maybe because of the fireball, so he played a Knight and cycled back to another Xbow. I believe that's what happened there. And is he gonna rocket onto Dark Prince and the Inferno D? Yes, he will. And yeah, the Xbow locked on the tower again, so gaining 2 huge locks, huge Xbow locks, will actually benefit Elite Sparky. And now he's gonna play 2 Archers same lane because the opponent just wasted their arrows. Now he's gonna go with opposite lane Xbow again because he doesn't want the opponent to make a Giant push. Tesla and the Knight to DPS down the Giant, and Skeletons to tank for the Knight a little bit. Archers to DPS down the Inferno D. Fireball comes down for the Archers and the Xbow, and lock for the Witch. Okay, he's probably gonna let this go because tower target onto the Inferno D anyways. So the Tesla will finish off with Dark Prince and Ice Spirit for the Skami. The opponent cycle back to another giant, and it's gonna go in again. Archers and knight and the skeletons will do a fine job, and the lock has to come down just to make sure, and skeletons as well, but the skeletons of the graveyard still got a lot of damage. So bringing the tower down to 628, and there's only 1 minute left, which means it's rocket cycle time because it's only 2 rockets and it's triple elixir now. So if he can defend it, if he can defend this, whoa, 47 HP. Man, that was really close. The skeletons was on the tower, but the rocket was faster a little bit. So yeah, winning a very hard matchup. Yeah, very nice comeback against Giant Graveyard. Okay, on to our third game against RG Lightning, but yeah, about the last game, man, it was really close when he decided to rocket the tower instead of defend the graveyard, because there's nothing much he can do. He played his archers, but the opponent had arrows, so yeah, that was a right call, but that rocket was clutch, man. And now he's up against another bad matchup, which is RG, because in triple elixir it might get tricky, because the opponent can play 2 RG at the same time. Now it's gonna pressure obsidian with Xbow because the opponent just spent a lightning on Tesla, but the fisherman will do a great job against the Xbow, and yeah, he's just straight up laughing because he knows that the opponent is up elixir and up damage, so the archers will get finished off by the mega minions. So yeah, that wasn't a good trade for him, but there isn't much he can do. Now he's just gonna wait. He knows that the opponent's playing RG now, so he probably won't go in with Expo at the bridge now, unless the opponent plays the RG at the black. So both players are cycling, and the Dark Prince actually failed the pull, which doesn't really matter, or maybe it will at the end, because you're playing a spell cycle deck. It's technically a spell cycle deck if you take out the Expo, so yeah, he's slowly catching up the damage with those cycle cards, and Fisherman to pull the Aspect. This time it doesn't fail. Tesla for the Fisherman just to DPS it down, and yeah, the Tesla will help on defense as well. So will the opponent go in with RG? That's the question, because Sparky just played a Tesla. Now he's gonna set up a defensive Expo on the strong side tower. The opponent decides to play an RG at the back because he knows that Sparky doesn't have Expo in hand, so he won't be as aggressive, and he's gonna cycle Ice Spirit at the bridge, and the opponent plays a Dark Prince for the Expo, most probably, and Skeletons tank for the Knight, because he knew that the opponent would play Fisherman. And yeah, so far the Tesla are doing a great job alongside the Expo, but the opponent's back to another RG and a Knight, and Tesla is played. The opponent has Lightning, but the opponent misses the Tesla though. Okay, so that was huge. And now the Elite Sparky will go in with Expo because he knows that the opponent just spent Lightning, because 6 Elixir is actually a lot. Now he's gonna Archer, and the Aspirate will jump onto the Dark Prince, and he's probably gonna use Knight to tank. Skeletons to distract as well. The opponent plays a Lock, and Fast Spirit won't jump onto the Expo, and allowing the Expo to lock onto the tower, but unfortunately he didn't have other troops to distract the Mega Minion, so he's catching up, definitely catching up, and now he's only down 300 damage, which if he can defend for another 2 minutes, he can just rocket cycle and the Aspirate actually jump onto the tower. It's actually very vital now. Every single bit of damage is very important for Elite Sparky, and it's gonna play a Lock onto the tower just to cycle. The opponent plays a Fisherman, which will pull the Knight away from the defense, and quad archers, man. Quad archers, okay, 3 archers. 3 archers on defense. OP. Just OP. Now he's gonna play an Expo because the opponent just played RG at the back. So he's gonna play a Lock and then Knight. The opponent plays the Fisherman, which will pull away the Knight. And the archers will finish off the E-Waste, but the Fisherman is still surviving, and he still has to deal with this RG. He's gonna do so with Tesla, but the opponent's back to another RG, but the opponent decides to play an E-Wiz, which is a bit questionable, but who am I to judge? And archers for the E-Wiz, and yeah, so now the opponent's only up 100 damage, which isn't impressive at all because Elite Sparky has Rocket. Now he's gonna cycle back to another Tesla and archers for the E-Wiz so that the Xbow could help on the other side of the map. Now he's down 200 damage. The opponent's applying pressure now because he knows that Elite Sparky might have Rocket, so he doesn't want Elite Sparky to just Rocket cycle. He's gonna play Lightning, and okay, the damage lead has been widened, but now he's gonna cycle Rocket because the opponent just wasted 6 elixir, and he will cycle back to another Rocket, which will hit on the tower because Rocket only needs 4 seconds to travel. And yeah, that was a nice game, man. Against a very hard matchup, and coming back from that, it's not an easy task. And yeah, it's Sparky just hit that. So yeah, very nice game against RG Lightning. Okay, on to our next game against Male Johnny, who is playing Golem Pump. You don't see Pump every day. I mean, you see them like a few hundred matches once in 300 matches, but yeah, this time Elite Sparky faced the Golem Pump. He's using the E-Spirit version now. He decided to go in with Xbow because the opponent just played 4 elixir at the back. So just to be safe, so he played an Xbow. And maybe he knows what Johnny's playing, so that's why he went in with Xbow. If the opponent was playing, say, Lava Hound, it would have been very bad if they tower traded. So yeah, the archers will actually get a lot of damage, and Johnny will get some damage on the left hand side with the Scale Drags. Now he has the Rocket ready for the pump, which Sparky will play. And yeah, Johnny isn't happy about that because he knows that Rocket could just demolish a whole Golem push if it gets positioned right. And now Johnny's gonna play a Golem at the back. Sparky is gonna set up a Tesla and probably just defend the Golem. It's gonna play archers first, I think. Yes. And then skeletons. DPS it down. But the opponent has E-Drag ready, so it's actually very annoying for Elite Sparky. And he's gonna use E-Spirit to pull, and the Knight for the Lumberjack just to tank. Lock as well is played. And yeah, skeletons to pull away, and the E-Spirit's played as well. So okay, the Barb Barrel actually got a little bit dangerous there. If the E-Drag actually reset the tower onto the Barb, would have been very bad. But yeah, fortunately the E-Drag died, and the Barbarian actually won. Tank for the E-Drag, and now he's gonna go in with Xbow opposite lane. He's gonna use Knight to tank, and the opponent will probably play a Golem because that's the best option for him. And probably gonna play a Tesla to DPS down everything. And Scare Drag for the Tesla. E-Spirit to tank, to reset, and then to reset the Scare Drags onto the Knight. And the Barbarian is played. It's probably gonna go in with Xbow again because the opponent doesn't have that much elixir right now. The E-Drag will actually reset the Xbow to the Dark Prince, which is kind of unfortunate. Now probably gonna use skeletons to pull, or maybe he's gonna activate King because this is a great chance. Okay, he's gonna do that with the E-Spirit, and the Tesla is still surviving, which will help out on defense a little bit, and a lot. The skeletons will help DPS down the Golem as well, and a second Tesla is played, which will target onto the Scare Drags, one of them. And now he just has to defend because the opponent doesn't have a big spell, so if he can defend perfectly for the remaining 2 minutes would be nice. And the opponent's forced to play an E-Drag and then a Lumberjack because the opponent doesn't have Golem in hand. Yeah, things aren't as bad for the opponent now, but time is ticking. Like I said, Elite Sparky could just defend and then Rocket cycle and at the end. So yeah, it's gonna do that with all the defensive cards. Okay, he's gonna probably rocket onto the Electro Dragon. because it's very annoying. Archers to defend as well, and probably gonna Xbow again because the opponent doesn't have Golem. And the opponent cycled back to a Golem, and if they played a Dark Prince and then a Golem, ooh, the lock was close to clutch but not as quite, because if the lock actually pushed the Golem behind the tower, the Xbow would have locked on to it, and now Elite Sparky will defend this Golem very nicely. But like I said, the E-Drag is always the pain in the ass. And the triple target lightning chain is just very annoying. The E-Spirit won't jump onto the tower, unfortunately, and now he's gonna defend for the last 20 seconds and then probably throw a rocket. Yeah, he's gonna need that rocket though. He's gonna play Tesla to pull the Golem away from the tower. Now he's gonna play a rocket, and he just has to defend for 3 seconds. 2, 1. Ooh, man, there was another close one. If the Dark Prince actually charge onto the tower, would have been game for the opponent. But yeah, Elite Sparky was clutch. So yeah, very nice game against Golem Pump. Okay, on to our next game against Kevin Saints, who is playing 3.0 Xbow with Fireball, and Elite Sparky has Rocket instead of Fireball, so not too sure who has the matchup, but I think maybe Elite Sparky has the matchup because he has Rocket, and Rocket can one-shot Xbow with distractions like Skeletons and E-Spirit, and yeah, Kevin Saints would have to work for their meal. But okay, he's gonna let the Knight to lock on though. If I remember that correctly, any chip damage for Xbow player in mirror matchup is actually very important, and he's gonna let the E-Spirit to connect again. Elite Sparky is back to another rocket, so I don't know what Kevin Saints was thinking. Maybe he thought he outcycled Elite Sparky, but they're playing a mirror deck, man. You're playing a mirror matchup and you thought the opponent has Golem? So yeah, that was a questionable play, and Elite Sparky is just up 800 damage, which is a lot in mirror matchup. Because usually, Xbow players will just stall the game out until the very end, then just spell cycle. And if they are gonna apply some pressure with their cycle cards like E-Spirit and then Log, it's actually very hard for Kevin Saints to break through, and Elite Sparky decides to set up a defensive Xbow. Kevin will probably just Fireball. And yeah, I'm not sure how Kevin will come back from this, because Elite Sparky has Rocket. Like I said, if he wants, he can just Rocket every time on the Xbow and still win, because Kevin is down so much damage. And he's still cycling cards. He's gonna use Archer's tank for the E-Spirit, which isn't the play he wants to play. And now he's gonna go with Xbow again, which will get answered by the Rocket. Like, Sparky is gonna save Rocket every time for the Xbow, unless it's triple elixir and he can cycle back to another one, or else he will just always have Rocket in hand. And now he's gonna play Knight and Tesla, and for some reason Kevin doesn't predict with Archers or Skeletons. Maybe that was his chance, but yeah, he just threw it away. And yeah, I don't think he can come back from this now. It's too much. 1300 damage, and he's back to another Rocket already. He's gonna play a Knight tank and then just Rocket the Xbow away. Kevin is probably gonna cycle back to another Xbow, where he will of course try his best, but man, sometimes trying their best won't actually do all that much. Yeah, it's the harsh reality, but Skeletons to let the Tesla come out, so the Xbow could DPS it down. And now, yeah, Kevin Saints probably just gave up because he knows that there's nothing he can do. So yeah, there was some questionable play against Elite Sparky, but yeah, overall it's still a very nice game against Xbow matchup, because as you can see, every chip damage will matter for mirror matchup. So if you guys are playing mirror matchup, don't forget to prevent chip damage from your opponent, like Ice Spirit, E-Spirit, sort of stuff. So yeah, on to our next game. Okay, on to our last one against Rafa, who is playing, I think, the iteration of Anaban Balloon Freeze deck. His Pekka Balloon Freeze, and they subbed in the E-Wiz and Bomber instead of the Zap and Ice Wiz, because Ice Wiz get Fireball every time, so that's why they do that. But I think Xbow still has the matchup though. The Xbow had the matchup before, like against the old Anaban deck. Pretty sure they still have it now, because you can just cycle Tesla and there's nothing the opponent can do. They could play a freeze, but you have archers and E-Spirit, Fireball, but this time Sparky is playing Rocket, which is even nicer against Balloon, so yeah, I'm not too sure how the opponent will win, but at least Sparky played an aggressive Xbow, okay. And for some reason it's not gonna protect it. Instead it's gonna play a Tesla to DPS it down, TPS the Pekka down, and Skeletons to distract. The opponent could go in with Balloon, but it's top ladder, of course they don't want to risk anything. The opponent's gonna leak Elixir, so yeah, that was weird. And yeah, Elite Sparky is just gonna spell cycle. I mean, cycle a lot, not spell cycle, but technically it's spell cycle, yeah, it's spell cycle, yeah, whatever. So the opponent's leaking Elixir, still leaking Elixir, and Xbow comes down. The opponent responds to it immediately with Lumberjack and Balloon, and I think the Xbow will get some incidental lock, but I don't think the archers will be enough though. The Balloon will actually get a shot. Sparky wasn't happy about that. He played the Goblin Fire emote. And the opponent will probably cycle Nado. Yeah, the opponent plays Nado, and yeah, Elite Sparky will play another Xbow because he knows that the opponent only has Pekka in hand and he can just rocket away the Baby D as well as the Pekka. So an E-Wiz comes down, E-Spirit to retarget, but okay, it actually worked out. And the opponent will spend some elixir for the Xbow again with the Lumberjack, but the Xbow still locked onto the towers anyway, so he is bringing down the lead of the opponent. The opponent will go in with a naked balloon on the rage, but the Xbow, I mean the Tesla as well as the archers will DPS it down, and now he can just safely rocket onto the Pekka because it's 7 elixir. It's an 7 elixir advancement, and Xbow player could just very easily cycle back to another spell if they want. So I don't see any mistakes on that. And E-Spirit just to cycle, Knight to distract Pekka a little bit, Skeletons as well. And yeah, the Tesla will finish off the E-Wiz. Maybe the opponent will go in with Balloon. Oh, what? Okay, the opponent played a Balloon at the back. Yeah, and Elite Sparky is just gonna cycle stuff because he only needs to defend. Honestly, he can just defend for the last 1 minute and 30 seconds and he can still win because he has Rocket, obviously. The opponent's gonna play Nado plus Freeze. Every time I'm facing this situation, I always tell myself, don't panic. Like, most of the players would see Freeze and they panic and play everything wrong. But yeah, the Tesla just... Oh, that was close. Not gonna lie. Yeah, he failed to pull the balloon away, which is a little bit unfortunate. And now his triple elixir, he can just safely rocket onto the tower, which is what he does. And he's gonna play a second Tesla, which will just do wonders on balloon, on all the troops that will come. And for a second there was a triple Tesla and just spells sad for the opponent. The opponent's gonna play Baby D, but he get Knight to tank very easily. Now it's gonna rocket onto the tower, probably Tesla to pull again. It's not that hard for defense, and now he can just play a log for the win. And yeah, a very convincing victory. Just one small mistake when he failed to pull a balloon. So yeah, very nice game against Anaban Pekka Balloon Freeze. Yeah. Okay, I want to thank Elite Sparky for coming onto the channel, and he actually tilted a bit. He was 25th in the world, like I showed you in the beginning. And I hope you can untilt soon. So don't forget to follow Elite Sparky on Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more videos. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.